Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 59 of Sold with Updike Pugh.
I'm Jeff Updike.
And I'm Weston Pugh, and it is finally getting cooler out there, isn't it?
Welcome to Texas fall.
Just in time for winter.
A week.
It's good when we'll get it. And you actually went out on this great weekend and did a little scooter riding, didn't
Yeah,
you?
I did. I got a couple of scooter rides in this weekend, so a lot of fun. It's my favorite pastime.
It's your favorite pastime, and you said you guys went to the Dia de Muertos parade.
Yeah, and that's we actually met on the other side of the lake. A group of us out there all rode together, kind of through the Fair Park area, came up on the backside of downtown, and virtually rode almost right up to the parade.
And what was your costume that you wore while you were
I did
riding?
not wear one. I'm not a costume person.
Did you put a helmet on?
I did. I always wear a helmet.
Okay, well, that's good. I think that one of the other things that we were talking about kind of before the show started was what's going on a little bit in the market right now. You had some great information.
Well, we've talked really all fall or late summer about how well the market's doing, and it's really just continuing to do well. We're not seeing those upward trajectories of the price increases like we did for many years there, but in the third quarter of this year, the Dallas-Fort Worth area outpaced every other metropolitan market in Texas. We had almost a third of the sales in Texas just in the North Texas area here.
That is huge.
Yeah.
That is huge, and it's funny because we've had such really huge season, and it's continued that everybody knows how much more is it going to go.
Yeah. There's the median sales price in the North Texas area is up about 3% over last year, which is really,
That's where it should be.
it's where it should be. It's a balanced market. The median price is about $275,000. The number of listings is continuing to grow, which has helped calm all this down, I think. And the number of listings this year is up about 7% over what it was this time last year.
That is a lot, and it'll be interesting to see how this continues, and we'll always be bringing more information on this.
One of the other things I wanted to point out was there was a really interesting article that was talking about the number of foreclosures being so far down right now. We're at kind of the bottom of the barrel in terms of the number of foreclosures in our marketplace right now. And if you kind of put today's number in perspective, if you look back 8 to 10 years ago, about 5.5% of the mortgages had owners that were 90 days late or more for their payments. Yep. And bringing that forward to now, there's less than 0.5% of those mortgages that are in that default.
Well, I remember back in the day when this was all going on, the interest-only arms and the 0% down, and if somebody walked away from a house, they really weren't walking away from anything.
Yeah.
But you and I have seen people bring tremendous amounts of cash, and at that point, if they do walk away from it, they're walking away from the cash as well.
Yeah, I think we have a lot more savvy buyers now in real estate because they are opting to they're smartly borrowing as much money as they can afford.
Correct.
But they're putting enough equity into it that they've got a substantial stake in that house.
Yeah.
And they're not so susceptible to the hearing everybody about the waves up and down all the time. They're buying for a 5-year ownership cycle or a 20-year ownership cycle.
Right, and they're not doing that quick 3 to make the 100,000 and get out.
Yeah.
It's a different owner
those
that we have now.
those days are gone.
The sins of the past.
Yeah.
The greed is
Very
gone.
much so.
Well, I think the first house that we're going to do is going to be looking over in the M Streets.
Yeah.
What a great area the M Streets are.
Yeah, this is a house that is in Greenland Hills,
Yeah.
and it's just a fantastic neighborhood. The address is 5619 Vanderbilt, and it is, even though it's really kind of in the middle of that very residential neighborhood, it's still such a great walkable neighborhood.
Yeah. So this is the neighborhood that's just to the east of 75, and Greenville Avenue is one of the ones that runs right up against it. You can get in and out of this neighborhood quite easily, where making commute is quite easy. You're not on the west side of the east side of the lake, so it's really easy to get in and out of this neighborhood.
Yeah, and there's all kinds of restaurants up and down that Greenville Avenue corridor. I would say that this is even one of those scooter-friendly neighborhoods where you're going to find the scooters down, usually somewhere up and down that Greenville Avenue area, if you want to go grab one of those and ride to dinner and then Uber home.
Then there's Jeff.
Yep. So to talk about jumping on into the house, the house, this one just has really great drive up to it, and it is that very traditional, kind of a craftsman style of home that is so indicative of that neighborhood. The Greenland Hills neighborhood was built in the 20s, and many of the homes are very much like this. It's just a small kind of combination of 3 or 4 different styles.
And this is the renovation, and this is the entry that you have right here. And what they've done is they've added some herringbone pattern at the entry. And then there is a little bit of a area off to the right of that image you can see where you could actually set up a table and art. And this actually divides. What we're looking into is the large family room. And the family room is really amazing.
Mm-hmm. The family room, as you can see, has the fireplace on the front of the house. It's got those really large windows on the eastern side of the house. And all of those windows have been replaced with more modern double pane windows. So you've got some really good energy efficiency there.
And so the next image we're going to be actually standing at the fireplace and looking into the family room. And you can see how this remodel just carries out throughout. They've done a great job of strategically placing the can lights, but not overdoing it. And it goes from the living room into a dining room that effortlessly transitions into what everyone wants are these large, white, clean kitchens.
Yeah, and if you look at this next image, you're standing in the kitchen looking back, kind of back over toward the dining room, and it's got the quartz countertops in it, has the recessed can lighting, some other lighting over the island that's really nice. The island has seating for 6.
Yeah.
And Thermador range, lots of high-end appliances in this one.
And so back to the entry, if you go to the right, this actually takes you into what they're using as like the TV room, and you can see where they've actually situated multiple seating areas. And this room is large enough that you could probably make multiple seating arrangements. And this room also does go to the outside. On the right hand of the picture, you can see the first opening that'll take you outside.
And this is the master bedroom that's on the first floor. And I've got to say, this home has some of the largest rooms in every room.
26 by 15.
And I mean, you literally have room for the king size bed and a living room in this room. And the master bathroom in this is really pretty nice, just off to the left there.
And so when we go outside through the master doors, you can see right there, we do have this additional green space. And on the left hand of the picture, you see the detached garage, and there is a small covered walkway that leads you back into, I believe, the hallway. So this has 2 bedrooms down, and then it has 2 additional bedrooms upstairs.
And I want to show you one of the bedrooms upstairs. Again, this is the size that you're going to find in almost every room there. And both there are 2 full baths up here. You can see the bath off of this one. And then for the other bedroom, there's a bath that is just off the hallway.
So this is the second master, and it has a small Juliet. And then this is the bathroom into the second master that's also upstairs. And so it's got double vanity, walk-in closet, and then it does have its own walk-in shower as well. So it's also one of those bedrooms, as Jeff was saying earlier, that's really large. And I believe this one is also a 26 by 15. So you could actually create a living and a seating area.
So 5619 Vanderbilt Avenue is a 4-bedroom, 5-bath home, about 3,800 square feet. It is priced at $950,000, and that brings this in about 247 square foot.
And we want to say thank you so much to Kyle Byram for allowing us to feature your home. It is a wonderful home. And now what we're going to do is just take a quick jump, and we're going to go to the other side of the lake. And we featured a modern home over in this neighborhood of, I believe there's like 268. And this is over in the Lake Highlands, the Peninsula area. And it's 9428 Biscayne Boulevard.
And as Weston said, this is on a little neighborhood that's called the Peninsula because it kind of sticks out and it's separated from much of the rest of Lake Highlands and that part of the city by Loop 12 that goes down through there. And there are a limited number of homes. You've got access to the Bathhouse Cultural Center. You have really great access to the White Rock Trail right there. A couple of times ago when we were in this neighborhood, there was a group of cyclists that all came by, and it's just this really quiet little whoosh
Yep.
as they go by.
And the great thing too is that you have the Arboretum, which is really kicked off and is amazing in this area. And then it also transitions up Buckner, and Casa Linda has really caught on, that little shopping center. I believe what they're putting on the corner right there now is a snooze cafe. But it's easy to get in and out of this neighborhood. You can take either Mockingbird 12, or if you're on the south side or in the downtown area, you can get up 78 or 30 really quickly. So it's a good in and out neighborhood. It's really great for the outdoor enthusiast as well. So this is one of those homes that rarely comes on the market.
Yeah, if you want to drive by and take a look at this house, do not be misled by feeling like it is a small home. It does have that feel when you drive up to it. It's got a great big circle drive, but the minute you step inside, it really has a change of feeling. Big trees that cover the front yard, and a really nice big oak tree in the back.
And see, once you're inside, the remodel is just spot on. And so what we've done is the front door is right there, and they've done something a little different with the windows. There's no mullions inside of the windows, so it's actually like looking out. It's more picturesque. They've got motorized shades that come up and down. And so we're actually standing on the far side of this living room, and you can see how it kind of just gently goes throughout the house and upstairs.
And this, one of the things that stood out to me was the short and wide plank flooring that they used in here. And it's got just a little bit of color in it, and then it's got a little bit of a gloss on it, and it really brightens up the room. As Weston said, I think the fact that they didn't use mullions on the windows really adds additional light.
And so what this does is it transitions into the eat-in dining room and kitchen. So they've got this large area with the windows, and then this really substantial kitchen island. And the quality and level of this granite is continued not only on the countertops, but also in the backsplash. One of the unique things they did is they also took and did the window cutouts in the backsplash to allow more natural light.
Yeah, and this is another view of the kitchen, and as you can see there, it has built-in refrigerator. All the appliances are high-end. It has soft close drawers and cabinetry in the kitchen. Is really laid out really, really well.
And it feels like we've done now a second home that has a really large master. And this master in itself was a 12 by 17. And it's really hard to tell that it's this large because from the far right-hand side, this actually goes on an additional probably 5 feet for another seating area. But you have great windows. This one does look over the backyard, which is a really great treat.
And the master bath on this is absolutely stunning. The great use of marble in this bathroom. The wood floors continue in there. You still have the double vanities with shaving height. The transom windows at the top there really lit lots of extra light in.
And so what we're going to do now is we're going to go back downstairs and we're going to go out the side doors on the kitchen, and it opens up into this covered patio. And this covered patio is really surprising because they've done a top tier quality on the flooring or the decking. It's either Ipe or it's one of the other hard wood floors. And it also has 2 ceiling fans, and it has track lighting around it. So this is a really great outdoor space to extend the evenings to.
And the backyard continues on down to that with a great lagoon bottom pool, lots of flagstone areas there. You can see off in the right of this picture where there's the little covered area there that's got a TV in it. Would be great covered seating if you're entertaining outside.
So the last picture that we're going to show is of the guest apartment. And this is directly above the garage. And this is all inclusive. It does have a small, that looks like a stove, full-size refrigerator, and a washer and dryer in there. So great unit, great space. It was excellently priced as well.
Yeah, and this is 9428 Biscayne Boulevard, 3 bedrooms, 2 bath, 2-car garage, a little over 2,300 square feet, priced at $899,000, which brings it in about $385 a square foot.
And we want to say thank you to Harry Morgan for allowing us to highlight your house. It is amazing.
It is great. Thank you, Harry.
Where are we headed to next?
We're going to zip down to Oak Cliff.
Love Oak Cliff.
We are going to go back down to the Stevens Bluff neighborhood. That is where the new constructions, well, I say new construction, they were built a couple of years ago by David Weekley.
Yeah.
And, I've got to say, this is really one of my favorite neighborhoods down there when you're talking about newer construction.
Well, David Weekley is known for the quality of the construction that they have as far as what they put into the home, their standards, their minimums are amazing. And when you get into homes like this, it really does take on a lot less responsibility from a financial standpoint to heat and cool these homes.
Yeah, and this is very close to Bishop Arts District. It is, as we all know, is just exploding with restaurants and businesses. And
Changes daily, it feels like.
really does. What's the new place that we went to? Paradiso?
Ceci, you just went there to Paradiso the other night. Yep.
Yeah, and that was a really great experience. We went at lunch one day and really enjoyed it. So you've got great bike trails down here. You've got access to the trolley. You have really great mass transit. It's another neighborhood where many of the scooter companies have come into play. So great access.
So it's 1856 Stephen Bluff Lane, and this is the exterior, and this is the townhome. And what we like about these is that there's actually probably 1.5 to 2 feet between each one of the units.
Yeah,
so there's no shared walls.
Yeah, they are single family homes.
But that look like townhomes.
That look like townhomes.
That's amazing. And they've done a really good job with the color palette. As you can see, they're all just slightly varied, but you can tell they're all related to each other.
And this is the downstairs bedroom that is the first floor shares the downstairs bedroom, 2-car garage, this really great bath, and then access out into the backyard.
And the current homeowner has done a great job with the outdoor space. They've gone ahead and landscaped the entire thing, added crushed granite, and then stepped up it even more by adding the seating. And then, as you can see, there's a stone outdoor kitchen that has also an outdoor bar to it.
And there's an egg.
And there's an egg. We love the eggs.
Yeah, it really is an amazing spot. This, as you come back upstairs, you end up in the living room, and this picture does not do the size of this room justice. Right. It really is much larger than this appears. You have 11 or 12 foot ceilings on this level, and it's very open, light, bright, lots of windows all around, great lighting, gas fireplace.
And I think it's interesting the way they've set this room up is that you have such a large space, and they've taken the opportunity to put a large piece of art on the wall. Your TV could go there, but they try to keep the combination of the TV and the fireplace together. It transitions to a large corner kitchen that has a substantial kitchen island that probably can seat 6 as well.
Yeah. Yeah, here's a picture of the island and the rest of the kitchen. How many cabinets did you count in this?
I don't know, but there are 42 with a 24 stacked on top of it, so that's enormous.
I think there were like 25 or 26 cabinets that you counted in it. So storage in this one is not an issue at all.
And then this also, as you can see off to the left of this picture, is where the dining room is. And this dining room is very unique in that it's in the corner, so it kind of feels grounded, but it also has a wine bar there directly on the right-hand side. But there's a cutout, and if you can kind of see what you're seeing, you're looking through that cutout, and that is the TV on the other side. So even if you're there, you don't feel like you're trapped in a corner in this house.
Yep. And this is the master bedroom that is up on the 3rd floor. And this is another master bedroom that is just amazing in size. King size bed, 42-inch nightstand, still lots of room. These owners have done an impeccable job of decorating this property.
They have not missed a beat anywhere on this one. And it continues upstairs, which was so great, is that there is another living room, game room upstairs. And they have actually, I can't tell you how much I enjoy a banquette situation, the way that's set up, and then to have the Chase Lounge. It allows you to really enjoy this place, whether it's game night or it's just you watching a movie. And even better is that it transitions to an outdoor seating area as well.
And here's a picture of the outdoor deck that you have. Lots of room up there as well. Great views of downtown Dallas. This is one of those units that is positioned high up enough that you are above the rooftops of the buildings that are next door to you. So you have those really unobstructed views that are almost 180 degrees. So that is 1856 Stevens Bluff Lane, and it's a 3-bedroom, 2 half baths, 2-car garage, a little over 2,800 square feet, priced at $645,000, which is $229 a square foot.
And we want to say thank you so much to Debbie Sherrington for allowing us to highlight your single-family home that looks like a townhome.
Yep, that's it.
So if you have questions about any one of these homes, you can always find a link in the comments below. Click on those, or if you want more information about those, give us a call, text us, or let us know. We'd be happy to help you, and we'll be right back.
There are lots of ways to keep up with us. Visit and like our Facebook page to watch us live and get updates about future show topics. Also, visit our Instagram page where you can see the latest homes that we have for sale. You can also check out our website at updikepugh.com, where you can create customized searches of active and sold homes that you find of interest. If you're interested in how much your home is worth, visit homeprice.fyi and you can get a price instantly. Just enter your address and a couple of pieces of information about your home and we will email you a price. Last of all, you can reach out to us by phone or text at 214-377-2223. And welcome back. This afternoon, in our second segment, we are going to talk about something that we think is probably very timely and certainly very important. And I wanted to welcome Chess Bostic to our show today. And Chess, you're with ABBA Claims Consultants, correct?
That's right, yes.
Well, welcome. We're glad to have you today.
Thank you for having me.
So you really, when we met a couple of days ago, you really shed a lot of light on something I didn't know about. Talk about what you do.
Well, we are public insurance adjusters, and we represent the policyholder, the property owner, against the insurance company. Well, not against, but we level the playing field, and we're on their side. So a lot of folks don't know how to manipulate or maneuver through an insurance claim, so we're there to help.
And so you are strictly on the consumer side.
That's right.
Okay, cool. So so I'm used to hearing about insurance adjusters.
Right.
You told us about 3 different types.
Right.
Well, tell us what those are.
Well, there's 3 different types of insurance adjusters. The insurance company has their staff adjusters, which work for the insurance company. And there's also independent adjusters that are kind of hired guns that work for independent firms. And they're called in when you have a catastrophe. Mm-hmm. When there's too many claims for the insurance companies to handle, they call those guys in. And then we also have public adjusters, and that's what we do. Mm-hmm. We represent the public on their side to work with the insurance company adjusters to get the claims settled properly.
Yeah, and I'll bet your phone's just ringing off the wall right now with everything that's been going on here.
Absolutely, we're busy.
Yeah, I would bet. How did you get into this business?
Well, way back, my wife and I were independent insurance adjusters working the hurricanes in Florida, and we kept running into a public adjuster. And I learned real quick back then that we need to pay claims, right? And I kept getting these estimates from this adjuster, my friend George, and they were incredible. I mean, they were very detailed, very thorough, and I thought that was pretty impressive. So we became friends, and to make a long story short, he encouraged us to get our public adjuster's license and help the public, and here we are.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, so what expertise do you bring? Talk about when like a homeowner is going through a claim process and how you work into that.
Well, I give the analogy a lot is that you wouldn't want me doing surgery on your foot, right?
Mm-hmm. No, probably not.
No, exactly. A lot of folks don't know how to work through an insurance claim. And so insurance companies have multi-million-dollar assets, and they have the ability to bring in engineers, and they can pay those guys all day long to go out and do their thing. Mm-hmm. And we actually have the ability to bring that same thing to the policyholder to help validate a claim, mm-hmm. Especially with these complex claims that we have locally with the recent tornadoes. There's going to be lots of structural engineers, lots of experts needed to validate these claims and get these claims paid properly so we can put the policyholder and the people back the way they were before. Because there's going to be a lot of hidden damage and stuff that's just not going to be taken care of on the initial visit.
And it makes so much sense to me now. I'm sure it's probably not the first time it's come across my head, but when we were talking the other day, I was thinking, well, gosh, if the roof gets ripped off of the house, how is the rest of it exactly the way it was before? Right. I mean, it just can't be.
Well, it's not, and we had some rains right after the storm, mm-hmm. So there's going to be a lot of collateral damage. That's what we call it. Mm-hmm. You're going to have the fence, the windows, stucco. You're going to even have these tornadoes will shake these houses, and a lot of times it'll rack them. So those things need to be looked at, and that's one of the things that we're experts at is detecting that damage that the typical eye wouldn't see and the typical person wouldn't know to look for.
Mm-hmm. What's the so I guess is there a certain price, not price point, but I guess is there a certain value of claim that it makes sense for somebody like you to become involved in?
Right. We want to make sure it's feasible for the policyholder, and typically $50,000 up is what we look at, mm-hmm. To make sure that we can, we want to pay attention to it. We want to do them a really good job and 50,000 is probably the barrier. Yeah, the limit.
And that sounds like a lot of money, but if you've got a $500,000 home, it's probably with tornadoes like we had, it's probably pretty easy to hit that threshold.
Absolutely, it's real easy to hit that, and a lot of the homes, in the Preston Hollow area, and we got a lot of high-end homes in this area where the tornadoes hit, and it's not going to take long at all to hit that, and get into the millions.
Yeah, you were telling us the other day that it really. It's really not the right place for a contractor to be working into the middle of that, quite the detail you do. They have some involvement, of course, because of what they do,
yes.
but.
Yeah, we work together with contractors, and we work well, and we love working with great contractors. What we were talking about is that, the laws have changed and all that, and public adjusters and attorneys are the ones that are licensed and can legally represent the policyholder. Now, contractors absolutely help, and they help get roof claims looked at, and they know how to identify damage. We work closely with those guys to write estimates to help validate the claim, and so it's important. And we always work, if you have a contractor on your home and you bring us in, we're going to work with that contractor because, they're the experts in construction. We're the experts in claims management, so
Yeah.
we work well together.
It doesn't seem like it would really matter much from your side who's ultimately going to be doing the work. You're really working just from the numbers and the terms of the policy and
That's right.
helping the homeowner. So
That's right.
That's great. So how do you get compensated in this?
Well, we don't get paid no deposits, no upfront money. We get paid when the claim gets paid. So it's contingency fee basis, just like an attorney would get paid. And so we really perform. We take pride in performing and doing a really good, thorough job. And then once the claim gets paid, that's when we get paid.
It seems to me like, especially if you're talking about a $50,000, $60,000, $100,000 claim, it would be really easy to miss much more than what you would be, your portion of it's going to be for a homeowner.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. We like I said, we take pride in writing very detailed estimates. We're very thorough, and we've got the experts to bring in to validate everything we need to do. And that's our idea. And our goal is to get the claims paid properly. We don't ask for anything that's not owed, but we're going to ask for everything that is.
Well, and that, it again, this all makes so much more sense to me that there's people like you out there because, I've always had this thought that, the adjuster's not there to help me. The adjuster is there to, go through what they need to see from their side and pay a claim. And their paychecks coming, while I'm sure they're reputable and honest guys,
Absolutely.
their paycheck's still coming from whomever the carrier
That's right.
is. So.
And a lot of folks out there say that, the insurance company's got their adjuster. You need to hire your own adjuster as well and have someone on your side. And we agree with that.
Is there a point that somebody should call during that process?
I believe that you should bring us in from the very beginning. It's just going to help the claims process go smoother, and we can end that claims process quicker. A lot of folks don't know that if we can meet that adjuster out there in the initial meeting and help them evaluate the claim just on the initial meeting, there's something called reserves, and we want to make sure the insurance company sets those reserves properly from the beginning, because it's they don't like turning loose of that money on the back end. It's easier to get things flowing right in the beginning. It just goes much smoother.
Okay. And if somebody's already started that process and now they're kind of watching what we're doing,
Right.
It's still good for them to call you and let you get involved at this point.
Absolutely. Bring us in, and we'll start wherever they're at, and we'll move it forward, and that's the goal, to get it paid correctly.
That's great.
Yes, sir.
Well, I really appreciate you coming in today. This has been very educational for me, and I'm sure educational for a lot of the people that watch. And so, Ches, thank you so much for coming in. We do
Thank you for having
appreciate
us.
it.
Thank you.
And if you want to get in touch with Ches, his information's up on the screen, phone number, his email address, and their website. Certainly reach out to him, and they'd be happy to get involved with you right away.
That was a great second segment. That was
Yeah.
a lot of information. And again, I think the way that you opened it by saying how timely it is, and it's so important for people to be able to maximize what's going on with their claims and have information written in a format that the insurance companies are going to really take and pay fully on.
Yeah, it relates a lot to kind of what we do because, in our business, everybody in the real estate transaction needs to be represented at some point.
Absolutely.
Some people choose not to be, but I think everyone at least deserves should have the availability to do that. So
I think it's a great idea.
So, well, thank you very much for for joining us today. It was really great, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks so much. And remember, we want to be your realtors for life.